Yo, what is up, college basketball fans? Welcome back to the channel, and we are just 2 days away from Selection Sunday. So that means that all these conference tournaments are going to be wrapping up in the next couple of days. We got some great games on today, some more tomorrow, and then obviously cap it all off on Sunday. So let's get into the games from yesterday, and let's take a look at these updated brackets, and I'll be showing you guys my predictions moving forward as we head into the Friday slate. So yesterday we had Duke beat Florida State, which I think everybody had. I did actually have Clemson beating North Carolina, which turned out to be correct. I had NC State beating Virginia. That unfortunately did not happen. And then I had Miami beating Louisville. So I went 3 for 4 on the day yesterday. And moving forward, I have Duke beating Clemson today, for that matter. And I have Miami taking down Virginia. Then Duke versus Miami in the ACC Championship. I'm going to stick with Duke. I know they have 2 injuries and they looked a little shaky against Florida State, but I think that they will be able to figure out how to win without their 2 guys that are injured, and I think they'll take care of the ACC tournament. Moving on to the Big 12, I went 4 for 4, so as you guys may know from prior videos, if I do go perfect in a prediction for the day, then I will not be showing you guys my updated predictions. However, since we are towards the end of all these conference tournaments now, there's not that many games, so I will change what I've been doing the past couple days, and I will give you guys my updated predictions. So we had yesterday Arizona take down UCF, Iowa State took down Texas Tech, Houston took down BYU, and Kansas took down TCU. TCU was in that game for pretty much the whole entire time. I was pleased with the way they played yesterday, and I am pretty high on them in the March Madness tournament. I think they can go on a little bit of a run too, so that's another team to look out for. However, moving forward here, I am going to take Arizona over Iowa State, and I am going to take Houston over Kansas, and then I will be taking Arizona to win the Big 12 tournament. Moving on now to the Big East Conference. Yesterday, we had St. John's take down Providence, Seton Hall beat Creighton, UConn beat Xavier, and Georgetown beat Villanova. I was actually at these 2 games, the Connecticut against Xavier and Villanova against Georgetown. UConn did their usual dominance. Villanova did not look that good at all. Georgetown played phenomenal. Villanova will probably still make the March Madness bracket. Georgetown needs to do a little something today against UConn to have a shot. But I think St. John's will take care of business. These games are played at MSG, so St. John's has a little bit of an advantage there. And then I will be taking UConn to beat Georgetown. Georgetown going on a nice little run here as the 11th seed, the lowest seed in the conference actually. So congrats to them, I guess, for making it this far. And then I will be taking UConn over St. John's in the championship. Next up, we got the Big Ten. I went 4 for 4 yesterday with the Big Ten. I did take Ohio State, Wisconsin, Purdue, and UCLA. So no upsets there yesterday, but let's see. So we have now Michigan against Ohio State today. I will be taking Michigan. I'm going to take Illinois. I will be taking Purdue over Nebraska, and I will be taking Michigan State over UCLA. Then in the next round, I am going to predict that Michigan wins and that Purdue beats Michigan State. And then we'll have Michigan against Purdue in the championship, with Michigan beating Purdue and winning the Big Ten Conference. Next up, we got the MAC. So, as most of you probably know, Miami, Ohio took the L yesterday, first one of the season. A little bit of a surprise, but I guess maybe not really. We all knew that Miami has had a pretty easy schedule, and they have not beaten great teams, and the teams that they do beat, they only win by a few points. However, I do think that they should be given a spot in the tournament. I feel like if you have that big of a season and you dominate like the way they did and win 31 games, I think you should get a spot, because if you don't, then what's the point even playing in the regular season then? You might as well just play for your conference to win the conference, right? Only worry about the playoffs and not even worry about the regular season. So it almost devalues the purpose of like playing well during the regular season. So I think for that matter that they should be given a spot in. However, I think if they get like an 11 seed, I will definitely not be picking them in the tournament. I don't think their magic will continue into the March Madness bracket. But let's look at the next games here. We have Toledo beat Bowling Green. Akron took down Buffalo in a pretty close game. I know Buffalo is good, but I thought Akron was going to be a little more impressive. I was not too fond of their performance. Kent State took down Ohio. And then in the next round, I'm going to take Toledo to beat UMass, and I will be taking Akron to beat Kent. Then I'm going to take Akron to win the whole entire conference and make it to March Madness in the MAC from the MAC conference. Then we got the SEC. A few games on yesterday. Kentucky beat Missouri. Tennessee beat Auburn. Ole Miss as the 15 seed taking down the number 7 seed Georgia. And then we have Oklahoma beating the number 6 seed Texas A&M. So a couple of surprising games there. I went 2 for 4. I did not predict these two games to happen here. But looking ahead, we have Florida against Kentucky. I will be taking Florida. I'm going to take Tennessee over Vandy. I'll be taking Bama over Ole Miss. And I will be taking Arkansas against Oklahoma. Then I'm going to take Florida to win the semifinal matchup against Tennessee. And I will be taking Arkansas to take down Alabama, with Florida winning the entire conference. Then going over to the A10 conference, we had George Washington take down Fordham. I unfortunately got that one wrong. However, I did get Duquesne right, and I did get Davidson right. However, I did get St. Bonnie's wrong. George Mason, quite a letdown there. I thought that they could have made a little bit of a run in the tournament. That obviously did not happen. But let's take St. Louis here to beat George Washington. I'm going to take Dayton over St. Bonnie's. I'll be taking VCU over Duquesne, and I'll be taking Davidson, a little bit of an upset, over St. Joe's. Then I will be taking St. Louis, and I'll be taking VCU. I think these are the two heavy favorites in the conference. And I will be taking St. Louis to win this A10 tournament. I think a lot of people are down on them right now, and I think this is a great opportunity to buy into them. Then we'll take a look at the SWAC conference. So almost done here in this conference. Just the semis left and the finals tomorrow. Yesterday we had Alabama A&M take down Texas Southern. And we had Southern University beating Arkansas Pine Bluff. I went 1 for 2. I correctly picked this game, the Alabama one. I did not pick the Southern University team to win this game. But looking ahead, I'm going to take Alabama A&M to beat Prairie View in the semis. And I'm going to take Florida A&M to beat Southern here. Although, that's pretty interesting. If you look at it, they're giving Southern a 64% chance to win this game. I'm still going to stick with Florida A&M. I think they're the better team than Southern is. And I will be taking Alabama A&M to win this conference over Florida A&M in the tournament. Then we got the Mountain West Conference. Yesterday, we had Utah State taking down UNLV. And we had Nevada beating Grand Canyon. I did have Grand Canyon making it to the championship. That unfortunately did not happen. I thought they were a very talented team, and I really liked the way they play. However, they were not able to get it done yesterday against Nevada. We had San Diego State beat Colorado State, and New Mexico take down San Jose State. Looking on to the semifinals, I'm going to take Utah State over Nevada, and I'm going to take New Mexico tonight over San Diego State. And I will be taking Utah State to win the conference. Moving on to the MEAC conference. Yesterday we had NC Central winning, and we had South Carolina State taking out Norfolk State. I think here the clear favorite, look at the numbers here. 78% chance for Howard to win the whole conference. I'm going to take them to at least win the semis, and I'm going to take NC Central to make it to the championship. However, I will be taking Howard to also win this conference. Then we got the Conference USA. So we had an upset earlier on with Liberty going down the number 1 seed. They were and I think everybody's favorite to win the conference. However, here in the semifinals, I'm going to take Louisiana Tech. I'm going to take Sam Houston, with Sam Houston bringing home the championship. Moving on to the American Conference. This conference is going to turn out to be very fun. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most underrated conferences in my opinion in terms of entertainment to watch. I think these teams are very fun to watch. And we had yesterday, I had Tulane making a little bit of a run. However, that did not happen. Charlotte was able to take down Tulane, and North Texas beat FAU. Now, in my opinion, today is when the games get more fun. We have UAB versus Charlotte. I am going to take UAB, and I'm going to take Tulsa to beat North Texas. And then looking over at the semifinals, I'm going to take South Florida. I'm going to take Tulsa. I'm going to take South Florida winning the American Conference. Then we got the WAC Conference here. UT Arlington took down Southern Utah, and Utah Tech took down Abilene Christian. Here I'm going to take Utah Valley, and I'll be taking Cal Baptist. And I am going to actually go Cal Baptist to beat Utah Valley and make it to the March Madness tournament. And last but not least, we got the Big West Conference. Here it is. So, in the Big West, we had Northridge taking down UC San Diego, and we had Fullerton taking down UC Davis. Looking over at the semifinals here, I'm going to take UC Irvine to win against Northridge, and I will be taking Hawaii over Fullerton. And I am going to take Hawaii to take down Irvine and make it to the March Madness bracket. Hawaii, in my opinion, is a very underrated team as well. They're another team to look out for in the March Madness bracket for sure. So, that is my update for today. Enjoy the games. Be sure to leave a comment down below your guys' opinions. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow with a bunch of conference tournament finals happening. And we'll be one day closer to Selection Sunday. So have a good rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.